Okay, guys. So, I saw a video of Stevie Richards. Well, I saw the thumbnail. I didn't watch the actual video. Let me just say this. You see the thumbnail, and this is where I got it from. And I wanted to say this about Bully Ray. I've been telling you guys this, and you guys know this, for the past, 6-7 months. Ever since Bully Ray has come back to WWE. Okay? Bully Ray is definitely being biased. Stevie Richards asked the question. I didn't watch the video, so I don't know what he said about Bully Ray. So I'm saying this on my own. This is my words. This is always my words. Yes, Bully Ray is being biased. I've said this shit a long time ago. Him, Eric Bischoff, yes. These people that are afraid that if they tell the truth about the WWE, that they won't be rehired for anything. Yeah, WWE has been giving us hot garbage for a very long time now. A very long time now. But, you have the WWE smack nerds, the NX terribles, you have the fucking raw tards that will sit up here and constantly speak as if we're watching a great program. Okay, if you like it, you like it. But the ratings are dropping for a reason. The funny thing is, you don't see people jumping up showing the ratings of Raw. You know how it's not doing the same things, that nothing close to what they expected it to, or the opening night of. Now, I'm looking at AEW because Eric Bischoff cannot go a full week. Every single week, almost every topic on every show that they do on that 83-week bullshit podcast is something about AEW, and it's always something negative. Now, Bully Ray made a comment, and he said he wished Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page and MJF will come to WWE so they can do it right and become superstar. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, Bully Ray? What the fuck are you talking about? Look at the fucking people that already came to WWE, and WWE has done nothing but put them on TV and put them in bullshit scenarios, like Jade Cargill, like Ray fucking Phoenix, like Andrade Idolo or whatever. All these guys. So what are they doing with them? What the fuck is the WWE doing to make anything any better than what AEW was doing? Now, for the record, when I look at people like Miro, Andrade, and all them, we wanted to see, especially when Collision was made, like, yo, since they made Collision, they could actually have, like, these guys, Miro and Andrade and all, like, be like, two of the top stars over there. But understand something. Collision is not, it's just like Dynamite, Collision, or Rampage. None of these shows where, like I said, like where Raw and SmackDown have separate champions, neither one of the shows are like that. And let's make something perfectly clear. WWE has Raw on Netflix, not SmackDown and NXT. NXT, they have those episodes on Peacock, other platforms that nobody's making a big deal about, but they're on those network, on that. SmackDown is on the CW, which is a crappy app, man. I gotta say it. The CW is crappy, man. That is a crappy app. They need, I don't know what it is. The quality just looks weak. And where I live at, my Wi-Fi has a very, very, very powerful signal. But it freezes a lot. It's a very crappy, and people that I know that have spoken to me about it, they say the same thing, like, yeah, CW is garbage. Okay, but bottom line, AEW was fortunate. You see how people, oh man, they're all right. So now they got 1 down, 2 more to go. Oh, Rampage sucks, blah blah blah. Yeah, right. That's why Max, a huge company like them, they got both shows, both Dynamite and Collision are on this platform. And like Tony Khan said, which I'm so glad he addressed that comment, that question that was asked about Ring of Honor. He said, well, the conversations come up in past conversations. I've had meetings and all, and you know, we want that to happen, of course, but we want the best possible situation for Ring of Honor. We don't want to just put them somewhere where it's there, but the right things aren't happening. See, you guys are so lame because you really underestimate Tony Khan based on the Jim Cornettes, the Zeb Cole, whatever he called his fucking self, all these different people that say this shit. You guys think Tony Khan is where he is because he doesn't know what he's doing? You think Tony Khan is in this position he's in and was able to do what the fuck WCW failed to do towards the end, to do what TNA failed to do? You think that just because he has money? Well, hell, Ted Turner was, yeah, Ted Turner had deep pockets as well, didn't he? Okay, and Tony Khan has far more money than Ted Turner had. But at the same time, this is the whole thing about it, right? When you have people involved and they're a part of a process that they're not just spewing things out to the public, people assume and make things up. And I've had some of the most biggest AEW haters saying, I can't lie, man. Really, after listening to you, I watch AEW. I'm like, man, this shit is solid. I like AEW now. You don't have to like it for me. I don't give a fuck what you like. All I'm saying is you guys just talk shit, but you're not paying attention to what's really happening. You're just talking. That's all you're doing. I remember the New England Patriots, they had that football situation where the ball was supposed to be deflated or whatever the fuck. Yet, they won more championships, and everybody kept bringing it because they hate the Patriots so much. They kept bringing up that one game, and whatever happened. I don't really remember all the details. I really didn't give a fuck because I really haven't been watching the NFL or NBA and all that consistently for years. So, but I just know what was happening. And at the end of the day, as far as, you know, what was said, put it like that. But first of all, just because you go to WWE doesn't mean you're going to become a superstar. And it doesn't mean you're going to be used right. And also, when you look at the fact that the WWE's ratings have plummeted so badly on fucking Netflix, well, think about this. What is it that the WWE is doing right now that's any better than what AEW is doing? I started laughing because I remember when Jade Cargill left AEW, she was asked in an interview, why did she leave? She said she just think it was the best situation for her and what her goals are right now. And she said she don't only want to be a wrestler, she want to be in movies, she want to be on magazine covers and blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. And that's her. Yep. It's funny to me because I was watching the Terrifier 3. I said, wow, Chris Jericho's in there. We got Samoa Joe, who's a part of a fucking show that, you know, we have Tony Storm. I don't know if Camille is still in AEW, but Tony Storm and Camille was just in this movie they had about this female wrestler or whatever that they talked about during Revolution, all right? But they were in this movie. Now, I think they said Naomi was in it too. I didn't see any clips of Naomi. But bottom line, AEW wrestlers are being featured in movies. AEW wrestlers are being a part of like school programs, like different, like, you see the involvement is there. But this is exactly what I mean about people like Bully Ray. Listen to this ignorant ass comment. I get it, but I don't respect it. And I'm going to tell you why. It's an ignorant comment. To say, I wish Adam Page and MJF would come to the WWE so they can do it right and become superstars. First of all, like, as I said, look at who the fuck has come back to WWE and they're doing, or come for the first time, they're doing absolutely nothing with them. Nothing. But two, this is part of the bullshit, stupid, foolish mentality that the average wrestling fan is groomed into thinking. The only way to make it in wrestling, to be something or somebody in wrestling, is you have to come to the WWE. Right. That's why when Jade Cargill came out, the fucking roof blew. because everybody knew who the fuck she was. And it wasn't because she was in the WWE. That's why when Jordynne Grace came out at that fucking Royal Rumble, she blew the fucking roof because everybody knew who the fuck she was. And it wasn't because of the WWE. That's why when AJ Styles made his fucking debut and he had came out at that Royal Rumble and the fucking crowd blew the fucking roof because everybody knew who the fuck he was, and it wasn't because of WWE. See, WWE is more commercialized. So that's supposed to be the blueprint for every wrestling company because they do it. AEW is more focused on wrestling. They understand storylines as well. They just do it in a different way, and I love their product far more than what the fuck the WWE is doing. But at the same time, I've watched WWE. I watched AEW when it was okay. The stories was less intriguing. It wasn't like, oh, the show sucked. It was just more of a, all right, I would like to see them change and go this direction and change that and this. Yeah, we all had constructive criticism, but the Raw Tards, the Smack Nerds, and the NX Terribles, they basically want to just try to shoot down what's happening because it's different. WWE has become complacent. They have become very comfortable with this bullshit format. So when you got a guy like Triple H talk about, does it feel like Mania season now? No. Not when Mania was good. It feels like bullshit right now. In fact, like, some of you might be more intrigued with last year's WrestleMania than I was. I really wasn't. The whole story of The Rock coming back, and we know that they were trying to make The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and the fans didn't want that. See, again. And so, smartly, they save Mania by doing what? Rock turns heel, he turns on Cody, and all of a sudden, we get this shit, right? Okay, and we thought we were going to get that. And we didn't. Now, I don't personally care, because the whole point is to put Roman Reigns over. And it's like, for me, I feel like it's really stupid in a way. Why? The Rock barely wrestles. He barely fucking wrestles. So on one hand, if he wins, that's the greatness of The Rock. But if he loses, okay, the motherfucker barely wrestles. So what? Roman Reigns beat him. But WWE fans and WWE don't seem to understand that shit. They really don't. And being that this isn't even a real fucking sport, you can look and say, Roman Reigns beat this guy, that guy, that. So fucking what? Because just like that, they can bring somebody along who's all of a sudden they have huge plans for, and they think to put him in a squash match where he just destroys Roman Reigns will automatically elevate. This shit can happen. And then what? Nobody fucking cares. And years later, when there's new superstars, and it's always, every generation comes and dies, man. You can show old videos and cut, all of that and have YouTube stuff to keep their legacy alive. But I mean, it's always going to be a new generation of people. And that's just the way it goes. So we want to enjoy the ride, man, but it's like very difficult in this day and time because everybody is very critical of good shit. Everybody has a different interpretation of what's good and what's not. It's just like, for example, though, when you were a kid, you played with toys, right? As a grown man, do you still play with fucking toys? So certain storylines that may have intrigued you more when you were a kid, at some point, you outgrow the shit. And when you watch a product and they're still doing the same lame old shit, it makes you kind of lose interest in it. I mean, back in the day when I was a kid, I remember that episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, and how people was like, oh my God, this and this and this, when Hogan and Elizabeth and Macho Man had that little situation. And I remember my partner, my boy Terrence, called me. My partner Terrence Hunter called me. He said, man, you see that fake bullshit? Hogan, remember when he carried Elizabeth to the back? He's over. This was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, man. And this is, I'll tell you, as a kid. So my childlike logic was always still different from other fucking people my age. Because, like, stupidity is stupidity. So I'm watching this shit. Hogan and Macho Man is in a fucking tag match. And this motherfucker leaves Macho by himself. Hogan is carrying Elizabeth. And he's crying. Like she's fucking dead. And all she basically did was got knocked down. And he's walking into, and I'm like, what, like fucking King Kong and that little chick he holds in his hand. And he's walking her to the back crying and left Macho Man by himself. Remember that segment? Macho Man confronts Hogan backstage. But remember, the way Hogan was turning around and he's looking, Macho Man comes from the very angle he's coming from, which means I'm looking right the fuck at you. And I know you're coming. One of the stupidest segments, but if you, according to history, this is one of the greatest moments in WWE history. Whatever, man. And so this is why I say going forward, if you're going to sit here and compare any errors, that means you need to cover up those flaws and take those things away. Certain moves shouldn't even happen anymore because certain moves are stupid. One of the stupidest moves I've ever seen in professional wrestling is when somebody's on the outside of the apron and they're holding on to the ropes and the person push the rope out and pull it and this motherfucker jumps in the... It's such a stupid fucking move, man. It's certain moves. So if you want to try to make wrestling look more real, you want to try to do things to intrigue the fans, that's what you have to do. Cut out the things that make wrestling suck, that make people watch it and shake their head and laugh at it. Do you see any of that happening? So even the type of matches that you have, what the fuck the WWE is doing right now has been pure garbage. So yes, Bully Ray is definitely showing favoritism because he's employed by them. No different from Eric Bischoff. And then Eric Bischoff, I saw him in MLW. He has had weak segments and he's got fired from MLW, from his position, at least storyline wise. Okay, and it's like, if these guys talk about making superstars, they should come to the WWE so they can do it right, and WWE this, WWE right. First of all, man, let's look at this. When you say that, what are you doing in the business right now? What business are you running? You're just an employee. Tony Khan owns his shit. And Eric Bischoff, let's be real, is trying to keep himself relevant by talking about Tony Khan and AEW. He has nothing good to say about them. So you look like a miserable fucking man because week after week after week after week after week after week, your show should be, you should turn the name of the show from 83 weeks to all about AEW. Because that's all this guy talks about. He talks about AEW far more than he talks about the WWE. Yet, he hates AEW, according to him. Tony Khan is running his business, doing his thing. But you're taking the time out to watch it. Yet, you claim you don't even really watch what's going on. I remember people asking him questions. This is before. I remember them. He like, I don't really watch what's going on in wrestling anymore. I do this and that. I have my business. I'm done doing this and I right now. All of a sudden, you're so invested in every fucking episode of wrestling now, right? Yeah, he probably always was watching, but because he wasn't a part of it, he was, it was sour grapes for him. I look at this guy, I listen to what he's saying, and it's like all of them, wherever they are going to try to talk good about. And you can't possibly fucking tell me that MLW is in a better position than AEW is. And listen, I want to see all of it flourish and grow. I want to see all of these guys, all these companies prosper because it's more for us to watch, But, yeah, Bully Ray is full of shit, man. He's sitting here nut-hugging the WWE because he's working with them. But at the end of the fucking day, WWE has been giving us garbage. They suck right now royally. This Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk shit, everything. There's nothing intriguing going on. And this is all leading up to WrestleMania 41. So you tell me right now, what's going on in the WWE that's so hot that their ratings keep slipping? You talk shit about AEW, but you won't be honest about the shortcomings of the WWE. So this bias that he's showing is doing nothing but making him look like a fool. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys now. Catch you guys on the next one.